Welcome back to the CJC's Training and Technical Assistance series to help subrecipients transition to the new grants management system. This video walks you through how to respond to revision requests in the CJC's new grants management system. Please be aware that the CJC's monitoring policy dictates that we are required to review each application internally before sending comments and feedback regarding revisions to subrecipients. A good general rule is to allow 3 to 4 weeks before you can expect a notification. A PDF step-by-step guide is available for download on our website. Feel free to pause, rewind, or fast forward to get straight to the information most relevant to you. This video is designed for key program staff, key fiscal staff, and any other individuals who are responsible for submitting grant applications and responding to feedback requested by the CJC. The contacts assigned to the grant application will receive an email notification stating that revisions are requested. A general message may highlight what is needed, but to see the full list of areas that request clarification, click on the link in the email or log in directly to the CJC Grants Management System. Once you have logged in, click on the Concept, Papers, and Applications section. On this page, you'll see a list of all projects that are in pre-award status. The status column gives a quick preview of which projects are in-process application drafts and which projects are applications that were submitted and now require revisions. Use the Open button to access the application and make revisions. This is what it looks like when you first open your returned application. If you are managing several projects and want to refresh your memory on the funding source, click to view the funding opportunity. In our new system, you are able to view all versions of your application and save the most recent PDF for your files. For a freshly submitted and returned application, there's only one version available. Once you click into the application, it opens in annotation mode. Revision requests are listed in the annotation sidebar. The system provides instructions on how to revise your application. Please refer back to these as needed. We'll zoom in now on the annotation list. These 3 comments are from the assigned grant monitor. Right now, they're the only revision requests for this application. The system draws attention to areas that are in need of modification prior to being awarded. This is the equivalent of the eGrants Work Manager for those that are familiar, except this is more streamlined. Monitors aggregate feedback during the CJC's internal staff review of your application and then release all of the comments to you in one list. Now that we zoomed out on the page, click the comment you wish to view and address first. The system will automatically take you to the section that is requesting clarification. It also takes some of the guesswork out of revising your application, and we are so glad to make this a little bit easier for everyone. Responding to annotations is a 3-step process. After clicking on one of the revision comments, it will bring you to the section that needs edits. Step 1 is to read the feedback from the CJC. The specific section will be highlighted. In this example, it's a peachy orange, and the changes requested will remain in the sidebar. Step 2 is to make the revisions in the affected section using a special pop-up field that we'll get into in just a minute. And step 3 is to reply to the comment in the annotation sidebar. This step is very important, and it doesn't have to be overly wordy. A simple done or revised or I added detail, please reach out with any additional questions will suffice. So what does that look like in practice? Let's zoom in. All right, now that we can finally read this graphic, we see that the applicant added some placeholder text into their problem statement, and they forgot to circle back and update the language. We'll show you how to revise the area and then submit a comment back to the CJC monitor to show that you completed the request. So in the pop-up area, you can see what was previously entered into the section where the edits are being requested. Again, in this example, we see that the applicant entered XX as placeholder text. The monitor asked for more details, so this pop-up allows you to make changes directly into your application. All you do is you can add to or type over your previous entry. After addressing the revision request to the best of your ability, this is how you generate the newly required reply message to acknowledge the original question or edit. Once these steps are completed, your response will appear in the sidebar under your name. In this example, we see that John Doe stated, "This area has been updated." For areas such as the budget with buttons that open fields for editing beyond a simple text box, the first step is still to click the Reply button. This takes you to the affected area of the application. To add the computation for the case manager in this budget example, you would need to click the Add Edit Budget button in the pop-up. Another box will appear with a text field or an additional button where you can add the computation or other requested information and then save it directly into your application. Once completed, again, add a brief annotation list response to your monitor in the message box. The goal of the annotation sidebar is not to go back and forth several times with your monitor. If you have questions about confusing wording or you're not quite sure what the monitor wants you to change, please reach out directly. A phone call is always welcome, and many times it's easier to resolve and faster than an email chain. After addressing the revision request, a reply message is required to acknowledge the original question or edit. Again, just like we did with the problem statement, you will input that you fixed the issue and then click Save. Your response will appear in the sidebar under your name. After all of the annotations are addressed, you can resubmit the application. To resubmit, a pop-up message will appear asking you to confirm that you have addressed all of the annotation comments and are ready to resubmit. Once you click Yes, you will receive a screen alert that your application has been received. This will return the application back to the CJC, who will follow their internal processes to award it. You'll know that you successfully resubmitted your application when you receive an email like this one from the CJC no reply email address associated with the new system. Note that the body of the email confirms that your application is received. It is very similar to the initial application submission email. In fact, there's no status difference in this new system between the initial submission and resubmission. You are also welcome to email your monitor directly to let them know that you resubmitted your application and it's ready for their review. Assuming all revisions resolved the feedback provided by your monitor, the next step in the process is for your agency to accept your award. If you are experiencing trouble responding to annotations, please contact your monitor first. If you do not have their contact information, please visit cjc.delaware.gov/contact. You can also reach out to our general help email at cjc_grant_support@delaware.gov. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you will reach out to us if you have any questions. The next video in the training series is for executive directors on how to accept awards.